Hello and welcome to Well-Led Schools, a brand new show that helps school leaders, aspiring leaders and wellbeing advocates improve culture and lead their school with wellbeing in mind. I'll be bringing you useful bite-sized episodes that share practical ideas to improve staff wellbeing and help you to put people first, then pedagogy. I'm Adrienne Hornby, a health and wellbeing consultant for schools and a former school leader. I work alongside school leaders and their staff to build and embed a tailored staff wellbeing action plan. Their plan will nurture a positive school environment and address teacher burnout so that they can improve school outcomes and performance. In episode 2 today, we'll be covering all of the research and evidence that shares why wellbeing works and how putting staff wellbeing first can have a dramatic impact on your school's success and performance. We'll explore how staff stress, burnout, and impacted mental health has a flow-on effect to students and their learning. Be sure to stick around until the end of today's very short episode, as I'll be sharing an exclusive one-time only offer to attend a live online professional learning event with me in a couple of weeks. I have never offered anything like this before. This episode is brought to you by my signature Well-Led Schools School Partnership, a 12-month program which brings leaders and staff together to create a shared vision for their school and empowers them to create an action plan that leads to needle-moving changes in school culture and morale. Our books are currently full, with doors only opening once per term, so be sure to jump on the waitlist at adriennehornby.com.au/school-partnerships to be notified when doors are opening next. So let's launch into today's episode. My own experience as a teacher and a school leader who myself has personally experienced high stress and anxiety and then gone on to become a school health and wellbeing consultant working with multiple schools across Australia has helped me to land on my main message that I deliver when working with schools and school leaders and teaching staff across the country, which is workplace culture and school function improves when we prioritise staff health, wellbeing, and relationship. You see, the health and wellbeing of school staff should sit at the foundation of everything that we do. It really needs to be what the school is built on. This is because healthy and well staff are better able to contribute to and form relationships with both their colleagues and the students that they teach. Without healthy relationships, it's more difficult for learning and collaboration to take place. Humans are social creatures, and we rely on a sense of connection and belonging in order to feel happy, healthy, and well. Our ability to connect is dependent on our feelings of well-being. In my experience, these foundations are not there for a number of schools, and COVID has of course made it that much harder. Without these essential foundations, leaders might find that they experience a hard time when they introduce a new change initiative, school approach, or strategy. Soon, cracks begin to form, and we may never gain much traction with our staff not able to take on another thing due to a maxed out cognitive load. Perhaps poor collaboration due to impacted relationships, or challenging classroom behaviours due to a lack of connection are just a couple of examples. This is why our plans begin to fall apart or implode before we can ever see any long-term outcomes, and it certainly isn't evident or reflected in the data and evidence that we are pushed and are pushing our staff to collect. We really need to put in the groundwork down at the foundation to see a functioning school, particularly now when all of these external factors are implicating our staff's well-being. We really cannot afford to ignore this for any longer. A focus on staff well-being is about more than making work a nice place to be. It has the power to transform the lives and the trajectory of our students. Teacher well-being is a vital component of educational outcomes and contributes to work satisfaction and productivity of staff. There is well-established and evidence correlation between staff well-being and students' academic achievement and development. But I actually want to break down how this works, because too often we can see the message impacted wellbeing can negatively impact staff physical and mental health. And then we hear the advice suggesting that when schools prioritise staff wellbeing, they experienced increased performance outcomes. Right, let's introduce some wellbeing initiatives and make this a focus for the school so we can fix this wicked problem. Unfortunately, it's just not that easy. A, does not equal B when it comes to making meaningful change in our school. And it might be why many of you are scratching your heads wondering why your approach to staff wellbeing hasn't worked up until this point. I'm about to spend some time unpacking what the research actually tells us, how improving staff wellbeing can improve school outcomes. While it's true that there is plenty of research into leader and teacher staff wellbeing, the research is weak and there is nothing substantial that directly ties staff wellbeing to improve student outcomes. You see, for lack of a better description, wellbeing is an absolute beast of a topic. It is because it's so complex and dependent on a range of factors. What we do know, however, is that if our staff have impacted wellbeing at work and in life, then they are at a greater risk to experience physical or mental health challenges. This, of course, leads to high levels of sick leave, absenteeism, and job attrition. And when staff experience mental health and burnout, this can impact their students' mental health too. Some studies have found that teacher burnout has been associated with an increase in cortisol level in their students. And what do you think happens when a student's stress response is high? You've got it. It impacts their ability to learn, connect, and engage. Similarly, evidence supports that when staff feel well and supported at work, there's more room to form strong bonds and relationships with colleagues, leaders, students, and the entire school community. Poor school connectedness results in poorer academic and mental health outcomes for our students. Staff wellbeing also influences engagement. The literature tells us that poor teacher engagement impacts student engagement level. A lack of engagement in our staff affects their teaching, their ability to be responsive and successfully perform in a teaching role and build those relationships. When wellbeing is fostered, engagement increases. Now we can see here how a focus on wellbeing and engagement and relationship helps to build a strong school culture. A positive school climate can reduce staff burnout and promote retention. Teachers who feel supported by colleagues and leaders report enhanced professional wellbeing and self-efficacy because there's trust. When leaders and schools are seen to prioritise their people and do it well, the school culture becomes more positive. Staff who work in a school with a positive culture report less work-related stress and pressure and a greater capacity to prioritise their students, which leads to increased student performance outcomes. Next, we can see how the focus on well-being, the development of relationships, a focus on engagement, and a positive culture affects workplace satisfaction. Now, this is particularly important because staff job satisfaction goes on to influence the educational outcomes of our students. And this is the very intricate explanation of how a focus on staff wellbeing influences whole school performance and outcomes through the development of a positive school culture, all achieved with a foundational focus on the well-being of your staff. If you'd like to read more about this, I wrote a great blog on it that I will link in the description for you. So as you can see, there is no A equals B when it comes to improving staff wellbeing and school performance. This is why deciding that your school will focus on wellbeing is about more than morning teas, staff shout-outs, or wellbeing weeks once a term. It's an intricate process involving a whole school approach to looking after ourselves, one another, and the collective. So then what can we do about this? Staff wellbeing is heavily influenced by a school's leadership, which is why I advocate for schools to become well-led schools. That is, schools that lead with wellbeing in mind. It's important to recognise that school leaders must be equipped with the knowledge, skills, attributes, and capacity to lead a change in our schools. And this is not something that's commonly taught. What the research advocates for, and what I support, is that we need to put people first, then pedagogy, or at least be prioritising them both at the same time. If you're interested in learning about ways to do this and how to adapt your approach to leadership to support staff wellbeing, I'll be running an online 2-hour masterclass for school leaders, aspiring leaders and wellbeing advocates on Thursday, the 20th of October, 2022 at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. In this class, I'll be breaking down the 6 emerging themes in the educational leadership research, highlighting what actions could have the biggest impact on staff wellbeing and culture at your school, as evidenced by the current literature, specifically on rebuilding after the impacts of the pandemic. You'll have the opportunity to learn from me, as well as other educational leaders in attendance from across the country. By the end of the masterclass, you'll have built your own leadership action plan, complete with a number of helpful staff wellbeing strategies and approaches to consider and implement straight away or in 2023 and beyond. This exclusive masterclass is a version of a leadership coaching session taken from my 12-month Well-Led Schools Partnership Program. And it will give you a taste of what's covered inside the program at a fraction of the cost. You can access more information about the masterclass and purchase your tickets at adriennehornby.com.au/masterclass. I really do hope to see you there. And of course, if you're interested in having someone guide you, your leaders and your staff through the process of building those foundations for staff wellbeing and a positive school culture, my signature school partnership program, Well-Led Schools, opens up only once a term. Be sure to jump on that waitlist to be notified of when doors open again by visiting adriennehornby.com.au/school-partnerships. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 2. If you like what was covered today, don't forget to like the video wherever you're seeing it. Subscribe to stay updated and share this with other leaders or school staff who might benefit from learning about practical ways to improve staff wellbeing at their school. I'm Adrienne Hornby. Thank you for your time and do stay well.